Gallstaff. You have entered the door to the north. You are now by yourself, standing in a dark room. The pungent stench of mildew emanates from the wet dungeon walls.
Where are the Cheetos?
They're right next to you. I cast a spell.
Where's the Mountain Dew?
In the fridge, duh. I want to cast a spell.
Can I have a Mountain Dew?
Yes, you can have a Mountain Dew. Just go get it. I can cast any of these.
Hi, welcome to another edition of Gamingnight. If that sounds like anything like what your typical D&D session all has, or if you, you know, it's associated with nerds, but you want the same kind of feel for Dungeons and Dragons, and you're just not into that in-depth stuff, or you have a good sense of humor, Munchkin Quest. Awesome. What the game comes with is 24 double-sided dungeon tiles and an entrance tile, 73 links, I'll explain those, multiple dice, you have regular 6-sided dice you're familiar with, and of course you have a monster die, which is new to the game, and a 10-sided die. So you get that. You get characters of your color and standees of your color. Monsters or baddies that you'll be fighting in the game. Gold tokens. Movement tokens. They're red on one side and green on the other. You got discarding tokens, and I'll explain those. And lastly, well, not lastly, second from last, the hearts are red on one side and black on the other. Really handy. Okay, but no Munchkin game will be complete without cards. And cards you do get. You get a stack of cards, you get a stack of treasure cards, you get a stack of Deuce X Munchkin. I guess it's called God of the Munchkin, or God of the, like, parody of God of the Machines. You get counters of your colors, like, so you can keep track of your level. It's a nice little feature. And of course, the monster deck. So instead of 2 decks like Munchkin, this one has 3 separate decks, and I'm going to talk about this, how the game works in flow of play. I'm not going to go. It's going to be real simple. I'm not going to really build anything. I'm just going to kind of explain it to you. So what you're going to do is each player is going to get 2 cards from the Deuce X decks, which they have cheat cards, class cards, and stuff like that. And then you have your treasure card. They get 2 from that deck. And then, at the beginning of the game, you announce who's going to be the dungeon maker. You announce it. So they're going to put this in the middle of the board. And what they're going to do is they're going to put all the room tiles, randomly generate them, you know, in a bag or whatever works for you guys. They're double-sided, and they blindfoldedly, whenever a player goes on their turn, there's little movement things on here. 1 means they gotta spend 1 movement to go in it. So as soon as they go into the dungeon, what direction they're gonna go, you attach a room, whichever, you know, you randomly pick it up, whatever side you pick it up, you put it down, and you attach it. And then there's gonna be, like this one says fan club. It says each flying monster rolls 1 fewer die. Each munchkin with fight also rolls 1 fewer die with fight. So each room's got its strengths and weaknesses, and some are very specific to certain classes, make it really hard for certain classes. So you basically would lay that tile down. Since they explore the room, then you get 1 dungeon master card for that player. And then you draw 1 card from the monster deck, and that would tell you which monster you pull from the deck. Now, if the card can't be used for that room, say there's a restriction on a monster, you put that in the bottom. You put in the bottom of the deck, and you discard it, whatever you want to do, and you draw another one. Usually, it's discarding them, unless it says otherwise. Then you roll on this 6-sided dice here. Whatever color comes up. Let's say you have 2 people. One's a blue and one's a red. If you roll blue, that player blue gets their little standee out of their color. And what that means is this player is in control of the monster when it comes to rolling the dice for the monster. Also, if this monster comes in contact with them, basically this emulates if you were to kick down the door and it would affect you. This thing will not ever leave. Once it's in contact with that player that it's intended for, the color base, it will stop. It will stay where it's at. And then that person of that color, provided there is that color, and then if there isn't of that color, the person who is that turns decide who gets what base color it is. But basically, your reward for having a monster that's mainly attacking you is another DM card. So you get these cards really quickly, but help speed the game up. So then, the game will play like regular Munchkin, where you're going to have a level your monster, and they're going to have to fight that, and there's this one's called the Right Brothers, that it says ignore any players level 3 or below. If you're level 3 or below, it will ignore you. So that being in that room would be a good thing. So you can choose to fight it still. If you choose to fight it, and you can't win, it says bad stuff. You lose another level and discard 2 cards from your hand. If you can't lose a level in this game, or you can't take the bad stuff in the game, you lose the level. So this game hurts you more like than the regular Munchkin. Regular Munchkin, if bad stuff says lose armor and you don't have armor, nothing bad happens. This game, it says you lose armor and you don't have armor to lose, you lose a level. I'm sorry, you don't lose a level. My bad. You take a hit point of damage. So if you fail to meet the monster's level by playing cards, or you're going to take damage. But also, a good thing going for you is where these rooms come in handy. If they have little markers on them, little red or green. If your character class or race matches that, it's green, you get extra dice. So basically, people will play all the bad stuff they want to enhance the monster. But in order to do so, they can't play bad. They can only play bad stuff on you or help you if they're in a room adjacent. So, if this room is the one you're exploring and they're in the entrance, they can help you or hurt you. But if they're like 2 rooms over or something, or they can't be adjacent to you, they can only throw curses at you. They can't throw monster enhancers and stuff on your monsters. So it's a good thing too. Then there's other rooms that have restrictions. They change that too. They got other things. So anyways, after you have the 2-second rule, you'd say, okay, everyone done laying stuff out. You'd roll your die, and if you're in control of the monster, you'd roll its monster die or dice. On the card, it'll tell you in the lower right corner that you roll how many dice for that monster, and that will boost its level up with the enhancers. Now, the good thing about Munchkin, this one, is if you can't beat this monster, and it moves around the board. So you're not the only one that's going to have to deal with it. So if someone pumps this thing up and you can't take it, it's going to keep going on the board until it's removed some way or another. So this will make players think twice on how much they boost monsters up this time. And you can search rooms too, and they got these little tokens, and all that's explained in the rules. I don't want to go into details because this is just a simple video, and I hope I didn't go over the minutes. But anyways, I love this game a lot. It adds a lot to the Munchkin game, but it takes a little longer to set up because you got these links, and these links are randomly generated as well. So it takes a little bit more time to play, but it's well worth it. It's a lot of fun. I mean, I hate to say it, but now it's like a tough decision. Which one do I play, Munchkin or Munchkin Quest? They're both really good, but this adds a whole nother element that I really like to it. That it's hard to explain. It's one of those games. If you like Munchkin, get it, but don't play if you don't have a lot of time. So that's all I gotta say today, and hope that this video helped your decision.